Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about UWMC, United Wholesale Mortgage. This is not my first video about it, but if you'd like to watch my previous videos, you'll find it in the description below. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on, and let's jump right into this one. So we're bringing in an update onto this one, due diligence and technical analysis on this. So let's jump right into this one without further ado. Some of the latest things that we get to see about this one here is their updated performance rating objective. It's been here for a while, and you get to see that these turnaround times are actually better than the average of the market. And if you were in the last earnings call, you get to see that they did mention, they did go through these numbers and how they're actually ahead of the market averages. Even going through things like an interest. The interest that they charge is less when the market average is, and I'll go through that in a second here. But before doing that, there's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. The appraisal promise. So the appraisal in 10 days or you get 50% back. So waiting for an appraisal can sometimes be one of the most things that keep you away from full advantage of utilizing the full advantage of the industry, but not anymore. With appraisal promise, UWM approved AMC's promise that the appraisal will be completed in 10 business days on every loan brokered with UWM, or a 50% refund on the appraisal cost will be applied automatically. The 10-day count starts at the day after all the following actions have been completed. The appraisal order is placed and the order is paid in full, and for all purchases, the supporting purchase agreement has been uploaded to the order. Every UWM loan, every UWM approved UWMC, it's testament to the power of the partnerships that they have and their relationship with their clients. So the current UWM approved AMCs is Class Valuation, Appraisal Nation, First Look Appraisal, Nationwide, and Nationwide Appraisal Network. So that's actually a huge promise. Some of the technology they have, and if you have been watching the Super Bowl, you've seen this ad on them. It's findamortgagebroker.com, and it's powered by UWM. It's a really nice platform, and it gives that tools for clients to or customers to be able to access that information rather than having to go towards a third party or a middleman. UWM InTouch mobile app. So this one says, get more done with the flexibility and freedom of UWM's new InTouch mobile offers. View your pipeline, lock loans, upload conditions, and more. It means your loans don't have to stop moving when you're on the go or just away from the desk. The conditions are view and current, upload and any outstanding conditions, view cleared conditions, and to take a photo of the documents with your phone, and the app will automatically convert it to a PDF. You can lock actions, lock, extend, and rate change. Client requests, create a new CR or view those previously resolved. Cancel if needed, add comments and take survey. You got push notifications, and you got also change of circumstances ability, such as submitting a loan structure for COCs and review progress history. Next is their Blink Plus. UMW's free online mortgage application, Blink, has one of the easiest, most secure ways of letting your borrowers complete an application online. Since it originally originated in terms of launch in 2016, and now it's even better. In addition to letting automatically pull credit, e-sign documents, and co-browse screens for your browser, Blink Plus is basically acting like your point of sale, loan organization system, customer relationships manager, and all in one package. So that's some of their existing technology. But if you were a bit more familiar with UWMC, you get to understand that this is just their launch year in 2020. There's more technology based that they're actually expecting. They're expecting more technologies breakthroughs. And the expected time range for me would be somewhere around the early off of second quarter of 2021. Next here is a bunch of their news, but before even going there, I want to go back towards their United Wholesale Mortgage CEO, Matt Ishbia, on the company stock recent dip. And let me just quickly go ahead and zoom here, just in case you're on your phone and you would like to read ahead. So basically, they were mentioning about after their earnings, respective to their earnings, they were around 715% and 820% respectively year over year, and I will go through that in a second. In terms of their earning reports, the company stock dipped by as much as 10%, while the stock has fluctuated somewhat since. As of the market close on February 11th, it remained around $9.20, below its $10 IPO price. Though it might defy traditional logic to see a company stock suffer after record earnings, that is the position the country's second largest non-bank lender finds itself. Matt Ishbia pictured, this guy here, president and CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage, told MPA that what the early dip means for UWM, and shared why the stock is currently below the valuation experts have given the company, he stressed that these fluctuations in the stock price have no material impact on UWM's day-to-day operations, and I understand that, of course. We have continued to have a great quarter and an amazing year. This year, hopefully, the expectation is to have the best year of all time from a mortgage volume perspective, and I don't follow the share price daily or hourly like a lot of people do. We focus on the best fundamental business we have. The stock price will follow. It doesn't lead. Where some investments experts have noted market awareness around the cyclical nature of mortgage industry, possibly explaining this dip at the end of a refi boom, Ishbia doesn't believe this outlook is behind recent stock drop. The stock IPO, he explained, was tied to a normal year rather than the record volume of 2020. He's confident that the stock will rise to between 1250 and 1350 range. Analysts from Wedbush and GMP have predicted. In the meantime, he's focusing on the business, and that's what he should be focusing on. I understand some other CEOs and presidents love bumping their stock. This one here is really focusing on the fundamentals of the business, and that is important for me. From a broker's perspective, HBA emphasized that no stock fluctuation, be it up or down, will interrupt UWM's work in the broker channel. He emphasized that he got this place by staying focused on UWM's operation and building the broker channel. The goal he laid out before UWM went public are still what he plans to achieve. We're going to get the broker shares up. We're going to educate people. We're going to double down on technology, and the broker channel is going to grow. The stock price being at $20 today, or $9 or $5 today, has zero impact on that at all. He's especially confident that in ignoring these market fluctuations, because UWM is outperforming in the earnings expectation. He noted that the story would be somewhat different if UWM's underperformed and the stock took a hit. Having only gone public 3 weeks ago, he attributes some of the fluctuations as stock settling in the market. He expected that when UWM plays its first dividend on April 6th, releases more earnings reports, the market price will strengthen as he sees this in his company. It's the same in great companies, always been. Investors might be getting the stock on sale based on our dividend, our performance, and the fundamentals of our business. That will all come fruitful in a matter of time. Right now, the stock is a great opportunity because it follows the success of the business. I do believe in UWM. In fact, it's even better than Rocket in my perspective. Take a look at the price over book for UWMC and price over sales. This is rare to see something below 2. Price over book usually, even SP 500 is around 2 to 3. You're seeing here 1.07, so you're really just getting the stock almost at price, or at book price. Price over sales is 377. It still has time to go there. Now, let's take a look at Rocket. Price over book is 119. Just let that sink in. And price over sales is around 319. Of course, they have a little bit better price over sales, still comparable, but price over book is a lot higher. Now, I'm assuming that the information here on Finviz is correct. If you have anything otherwise, mention it down in the comments below. But it looks like there is room to grow for price over book towards UWMC. So that is something that I keep in mind there. I really look into price over book because it gives me a little bit of perspective to where I think that the stock price is going to end in the long term. Fundamentals always prevail, technical analysis. And then next is some of their latest news. So some of their latest news, including their amazing quarter. Now I understand, yes, 10 cents per share for dividend, and HBA has a massive amount of shares. But honestly, if I had a company like that, and what harm is it going to do if he had the majority of the shares? I see no harm in that at all. He is a CEO and president. I guess some decisions might be shifted towards his opinion only, but that doesn't affect me as an investor. Now, fourth quarter and full year 2020 financial highlights. Here we go. Record originations of $54.7 billion in loan volume, a 71% increase from fourth quarter 2019, $31.9 billion loan volume, bringing UWM's full year 2020 production to $882.5 billion, which is 69% higher than UWM's prior record production for 2019 of $107.8 billion. Total gain margin of 305 BPS in fourth quarter 2020 compared to 110 BPS in fourth quarter 2019. Reported fourth quarter net income of $1.37 billion as compared to $148.9 million for the fourth quarter of 2019. That's massive. Increased UWM's equity to $2.37 billion at December 31st, 2020, as compared to $661 million as of December 31st, 2019. Closed private senior notes offering $800 million ending fourth quarter 2020, and non-funding debt of equity ratio of 0.49. So that's debt to equity ratio. Increased the unpaid principal balance mortgage of servicing rights from $72.6 billion in the fourth quarter 2019 to $188.3 billion off fourth quarter of 2020. You get to see the closed loan volume has almost doubled year over year. Net income has really surpassed. You're looking at $1.3 billion compared to $148 million. That's massive for me. Cash and cash equivalent, you're looking at 10 times more of that. The equity there, you're looking at multiple times over that. Non-funding debt to equity 0.49 is decent. Operational highlights, UWM maintained average application to clear until closing time approximately 18 days in the fourth quarter of 2020. While mortgage estimates of the industry are average of approximately 52 days, 10 days higher than 9 months average of 42 months. As of September 2020, for the month December, UWM days to close were approximately 16 days, and while mortgage estimate for the industry was approximately 54 days. Amazing. Our commitment to high credit quality is evident by a weighted FICO of 760 for the loans closed in the fourth quarter of 2020 and 757 for the full year of 2020. The credit quality of UWM's originations is reflected in the MSR 60 plus delinquency and forbearance rates, which are well below industry average. I believe they beat it by double. UWM's high successful Conquest program launch grew even further in the fourth quarter with additional FHA product joining previously released Conquest programs for conventional and VA products. With this announcement, UWM is extending access to these very low interest rates to a larger consumer base. Conquest program loans presented 87.6% total production in the fourth quarter of 2020, increased the number of team members from 4,907 on December 31st, 2019 to 7,475 on the end of the year of 2020, and it plans to keep growing throughout 2021. It enhanced the Pontiac campus by completing a walking bridge to approximately 600,000 square foot North Campus to our more recently South Campus that is located in a 900,000 square foot building owned by a UWM affiliate. During the fourth quarter of 2020, an affiliate of UWM also purchased a neighboring facility of approximately 378,000 square feet. Commence plans to restart jumbo offering, which are expected to go live in March 2021, and will also materially increase purchase volume during the remainder of 2021. So, also just a quick thing for towards technology updates. They did launch the InTouch app, and they also had an update, an enhancement online update for the Blink Plus. So things are looking good for me. The first 2021 outlook is a closed loans volume between $52 and $57 billion, which would represent an increase of 22.6% and 34.40% compared to $42.4 billion in the first quarter of 2020. The total gains of, and this is actually just compared to the earlier period of this year, total margin gains of 200 to 235 BPS, which would be 110 to 142% compared to 95 BPS in the first quarter of 2020. And so far, you get to see that these numbers are already beating up last year's numbers. So that is definitely bullish. If you would like to go ahead and watch around an hour of the investor call, I do recommend that you do so. Next thing here is some risk factors such as the industry, and I'll go through that in a presentation form before I go towards technical analysis. Institutional buyers are a little bit mixed. You get to see that there is a bit more of passive investment, like 6% from Sequoia Securities. And when you look into institutional buyers, it's a little bit mixed. You got companies, for instance, like Jane Street Group adding 300,000, but you have other companies as well, such as JP Morgan Chase liquidating. You have Defiance Next Gen SPAC Drive 220,000. It's a little bit mixed. It's adding and subtraction of institutional shares. Insider, nothing new there. Now, before I go on, this is the profit margin outlook for lenders. And basically, you can see that they declined significantly in the fourth quarter 2020, with a higher share of lenders expecting profit margin to increase. Yet, UWMC seems to have done the opposite, so that's a good thing. Key reasons for these lenders to expect increases in fourth quarter: consumer demand operation efficiency technology is the second highest. And I do believe that this one here, UWMC, is at a really good advantage. Consumer demand, that comes in from a market perspective. So the first two are met. GSE pricing and policies, market trend changes, and government monetary or fiscal policies. UWMC doesn't have any really effect on these. The decreases here for quarter 2020, competition from other lenders, 72% was the decrease, the number of mortgages or lenders that were affected by this is around 72%. And you get to see for this one here, I do definitely think that UWMC is one of these competitors that are stealing it from other lenders. GSE pricing and policies, market trend changes, consumer demands, and staffing. None of these really affect UWMC, except perhaps staffing. You do see a bit of an increase of staff on UWMC, but take it more as an investment thing where the more staffs they have, the more they can bring on. Now, I'm going to go towards technical analysis, but before I do so, please make sure to actually subscribe and leave notifications on. It helps my channel a lot. Now, could have gone on 1 week or 1 day, but because it's a recent SPAC, we don't have that information. And we get to see here that the price point 30 EMA is above 10 SMA. Yes, that is bearish, and the price point is above the 50 SMA. It's been like that for a while. Above the $9, things become fully bullish. Now, the ADX here was showing something interesting. It's showing that there is currently a trend or a possible trend forming towards the bullish side. William %R is sitting a bit neutral. It's been oversold, generally speaking, throughout the entire week. MACD is looking like stabilizing. It's attempting to break into a positive reversal. It hasn't broken that positive reversal yet. And momentum is slightly negative. Now, moving average bands, we don't have that just because we don't have enough information. But the only thing that we have currently is the stochastic fast. And you get to see, in terms of the stochastic fast, we're seeing a bit of an increase there, a potential for another leg up. Next, Fibonacci retracement. We see significant resistance at 912, 974, 1024, 1074, and 1145, and 1235. Now, we can ignore this, go back towards, let's say, 1 month, 1 hour perspective, and start drawing a little bit of price line action. Significant support, 812, above there, you're looking at 826, and then you're hitting in, I think that's the last support. Resistances, 851. 867, 891, 924, looking at 967, and then of course the $10 range. Above the $10, you're looking at 1038, above 1038, 1085, and then you're looking at 1117 and then 1172. Now, comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? I actually took a position as well last week, and I'll continue adding if it does drop. It's one of my longer investments that I'm considering to leave it there for a year or so. I do expect that this price point will not stay somewhere around $8 in the longer term. I definitely think that it will be a stock that is worth above $10, potentially even later on in the future when the Feds increase that interest rate. Any discount that people can get on interest rates will be important, and UWMC does offer cheaper rates. And I do definitely think that there's a really bullish perspective on that, just from that alone price point perspective on the interest rate. But it looks like the company is working on fundamentals, really important fundamentals. I do see the bearish kind of case is, it's going to hit $8. It's going to hit $7.50. Well, that is not really a concern for me if I'm going long in terms of longer investments, because we do know that this one does have a lot of potential. Now, we can go ahead and draw some trend lines here and there, but it's not really going to affect it. Really, the $9.37 to $10 range is where I want to see it break through. Again, this was really good earnings. It really bounced up and went to $11.15 and then just completely continued to tank for no good reason. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.